Hello, everyone. Good evening or good morning, depending on when this gets posted. I'm actually filming on Friday evening because we're having people over for lunch on Saturday morning, so I will need to be cleaning and cooking in the morning. So I'm going to get this done. And you can see I'm actually making cookies for tonight or for tomorrow right now. So if the timer goes off while I'm doing this, we'll just do a quick pause. And I can say the word cookies right now. We can't usually do that in our house because of dogs, but they're all in the front room, so they can't hear me. So it's a very exciting night here in my office. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to jump right into the action. This may be a quick Flosstube because, as I said, I've got my 13 minutes before the timer goes off. But first things first, we have stitching in action, and this week, or this video, we have Tudor Falcon, which was stitched by Tanya. I love the way it came out, and I love even more things about it. Tanya used 32 count Murano Pigeon Blue fabric, which I think is especially an appropriate name and color for the fabric, and I love the color on that one. She used the called for DMC, and she said on the weekend that she had this framed, she had her best ever viewing of a wild falcon near her house. So it was just meant to be. Thank you so much, Tanya, for sharing that. As always, if you've stitched a blue flower design, I would love to see it and share it, and I continue to try to figure out how to update the website with stitching in action, but one of these days that will happen and we'll get it all done. Okay, on to Stash Spotlight. Ooh, get this one over here. This is a fun one. This was given to me by my friend Sharon, and I love it. You may have seen these. I know they come in all shapes and sizes, but these are little thread bobbins in the shape of dachshunds. You see it looks a little oversaturated from where I am, but look at that. They're little dachshunds. We were joking when I got home. I don't know if I'll use them as thread bobbins because I want to keep them nice and they're so cute. I've got a whole set here in their little box, like a whole little herd of dachshunds. Joking when I got home from lunch that I would show my husband and he would want to take them for his office where he tends to accumulate the dachshund things because he misses Dunkel so much, and that's where Dunkel used to spend his time. And sure enough, as soon as I got home and I showed him, yep, he's, oh, those would look really nice in my office. But so far I'm keeping him. Maybe I'll let him have one, but maybe not. We'll see. That was my Stash Spotlight. So on to World Around. This time it is borage. Borage? I don't even know how to say it right. B-O-R-A-G-E. It's a plant that I have been trying to grow in the garden this year. I've been trying to get better about doing companion plants in my garden. And so I'm always looking up, with each thing that I plant, what would be a good companion plant. And one thing that came up over and over was, I'm just going to say borage, like porridge from now on. That's what I'm going to say. You'll know what I mean. This came up with so many different things that I was planting. So, okay, I got some seeds and I got some starts, and I got the starts planted, and let me tell you, the quail ate every single bit of those starts down to little nubbins as soon as I put them in the ground. And I got some more, same thing again. Now, I think it was because it was so early in the season that there wasn't a lot of alternative for them to enjoy, but boy, did they like those, because now I've got seeds coming up. I've actually put in one or two more starts and they've left them alone. So I'm hopeful that as the plants get big enough, there will actually be plants for me to have in the garden. Fingers crossed the quail will let them actually grow. We'll see. But I'm cautiously optimistic now. However, the first two rounds definitely went down the bellies of some happy quail. Now, the reason that I wanted them in the garden, they are a favorite of pollinators, not just honeybees, but also bumblebees and some of the native bees as well, which is great. I am constantly seeing in the garden group for people growing things like cucumbers and melons, you have a short window of pollination for those flowers and you need those bees to be right there on it when it happens, or you have to end up hand pollinating them. So having a plant like this, borage, which really brings them in, is critical, particularly for some of those that can be a little finicky to get pollinated. In fact, bees like it so much that borage is also called the bee plant or even bee bread. An acre of borage can produce up to 200 pounds of honey and up to 160 pounds of blue pollen. In addition to bees, it also attracts other useful garden insects and is a nursery plant for lacewings. Now, you can in fact eat the new leaves, as the quail have done, and apparently they taste a bit like cucumber. I haven't tried it yet because I haven't been willing to sacrifice any leaves at all. But maybe once the plants get bigger, and they'll get quite big, about a meter high, I believe. Then you can eat the young leaves, which I believe they taste a bit like cucumber. I don't know if I said that already. You can also eat the flowers, which supposedly taste a bit like honey, with a faint cucumber undertaste. And I've seen people do cute things like freeze them in ice cubes and add them to your drink. Now, this is not new. This has been used as both medicine and food dating all the way back to ancient times. It was called the herb of courage and was used to bring calm. So Celtic warriors used to drink borage flowers mixed with wine before battle. Medieval knights used to drink borage flowers in a drink for bravery. And the flowers were often embroidered onto their, like the leather piece that went under their armor, the jerkin, I think it's called, as a symbol of that. In the 1600s, a famous French herbalist translated an old saying from Latin about borage, and it was, "I, borage, always bring delight or courage," which I think is pretty cool. Delight or courage is quite a good combination. It originates in the Mediterranean where it grows wild, but it quickly spread across Europe, Asia, and North Africa, and then the flowers were believed to encourage happiness and were referenced in texts dating all the way back to ancient Rome and Greece. So it was very widespread and very popular. And then European immigrants brought the seeds to the Americas in the 17th century, where they promptly escaped home gardens and naturalized. And now they grow throughout the world, both as garden plants and just as wild plants. Scientists also now believe that borage does in fact contain active ingredients to treat depression as well as eczema and autoimmune diseases. And one article I read says that it even dies well. It has a good death for a plant. It has a deep root system that brings minerals up to the surface, and then when the plant is done, it flops over and readily decomposes. So it either mulches and then breaks down quickly into the soil, or once it's flopped over, you can just easily put it in the compost and it will put all those minerals in there as well. So if I can manage to get these plants past the quail, I will really look forward to enjoying having them in the garden, and I will try eating them to see what it's like. And there's they are. Oh. This is becoming an ongoing joke. I do think it's the sort of the nerves as I do these floss tubes, because the yawning comes up every week. And since I'm rushing to get this one done in between cookie batches, I didn't get a lot of practice. But maybe I need some borage tea to bring me calm before I do this. We'll see. Maybe later in the summer I'll be able to try that. On to questions. Last video was, have you seen a bird? And oh my, the wonderful birds in your comments. I had to look lots of them up, and now I want to design all of them. They were so pretty. So question this video is totally different. And I was wondering if you would like more, I don't know, newsletters, emails, something. I'm not great at posting on Instagram at the best of times, and lately I've been really frustrated with Instagram. Just when I try and see things from the people that I follow, I feel like I'm wading through a lot of unrelated stuff, and I don't know if that's been your experience as well. I signed up for a few Patreons, and I noticed that those designers that I follow, they send out regular emails, not just once a month like I do with the newsletter. And I've been working with a company locally here to help me with kind of the website technical stuff and also just general social media plans. So it's not just me saying, oh, I should post something now and then. So I was wondering how you would like to hear from me and kind of how often. So if you have thoughts or preferences, I would love to hear from you. On to best things. I guess it's a best and worst thing. I finally got around to replacing my old computer, which is good because the old one is really struggling, especially with processing even like these very short videos. It would take hours to get them rendered and uploaded and everything. And so I'm really looking forward to that being less time with this new one. but of course it's such a process to get everything transferred and make sure everything's working. And every time I have to transfer my design software, I lose all of the definitions that I put in for fabric colors and things. And so I get a little cranky with that, and I'm not very good with the technical stuff. So I'm hoping the disruption will be worth it. Although I still have those, why did I do this days. I could have just continued limping along with the old one. So yeah, it's a best and worst thing for this week. On to giveaway. Last video, the giveaway was this wonderful A Crown of Winter from Plum Street. And this is, again, courtesy of Sampler Guild of the Rockies, the entire kit for this lovely one. It's really hard to get a picture of this, I'm sorry, because of the light glare. But it is so pretty. Beautiful Paulette design. And again, the whole kit for you. You had to use the word crown in your comments. And the winner is at Pretty Fun Stuff by Diane. So Diane, drop me an email with your mailing address and I will get that in the mail for you. Giveaway this week. In honor of summer, we haven't officially passed our last frost date, but I have packed up the garden frost protection equipment. So from here on out, I'm flying without a net on those. So I figured it was a good time to give an extra one of these. This is Sandy Shore. This is the muffin that I did for Barefoot Needleart, and you can get this from them, but I've got a free one to give away here. So we'll give you this chart. If you want the little free pin cushions that go with it, I can give you those. And one of the attendees handmade these absolutely beautiful pins, which just happened to go so perfectly. And I got 2 sets. There was an extra set. So I've got one for me and one for you. And I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of a better view on this, because one of them has this beautiful little turtle. It's a little like carved turtle. Boy, this light is bright. I'll have to see if there's a better way, but not right now. And then these just very beachy colors, little shell. So pretty on those. So use the word beach in the comments and I will pick a winner to get the Sandy Shore chart and the two sets of beautiful pins to go with them. So when you finish your pin cushion, you can put the beautiful handmade pins in there. On to announcements. I would generally have summer releases out this month, but it's going to be June. Which reminds me, I mentally skipped what I'm stitching, which is a model, because I've been frantically trying to get that done. The amazing model stitcher Chris Kennedy has done an incredible job of finishing one of my summer releases, and I might even get it in the mail today. So if I can just finish the other one, that'll be shown on the next video. So I'll be pushing hard to do that. I've been fortunately spending a lot of design time, which is really great, and I have loved that. But I also need to buckle down and just finish a little Biscornu for release for this summer. So those are my announcements. Hopefully next video you can keep me accountable so that I can show those, and then we can have those released in probably June by the time I get them stitched up and photographed. So that's my video. We made it just barely in the time. The timer hasn't gone off yet. And we have a very quick puppy video at the end. I hope, again, depending on whether this goes out Friday night or Saturday morning, that you have a lovely weekend, whichever time it is, and get to enjoy some time off, some stitching, and maybe even a borage flower, or failing that, at least some, what is it? I have to look at the phrase, delight and courage in your life this weekend. So thank you so much for joining me, and I really look forward to chatting with you again in a couple of weeks.